Life has a way of lulling us into comfort, making us believe every day will play out as expected. But reality isn't always so forgiving. Sometimes danger strikes without warning. Sometimes the ground beneath your feet, the weather above you, or even the stranger in your path can pull you into a nightmare. Tonight, I'll be sharing 5 true stories, real moments where ordinary days turned into terrifying battles for survival. Skiing is supposed to be thrilling, a mix of speed and freedom. But beneath the excitement lies real danger. Every year, in the United States alone, there are hundreds of thousands of skiing-related injuries and dozens of deaths. Many assume that only the most dangerous trails take lives, but a surprising number of fatal accidents happen on beginner-friendly slopes. The biggest risk? Colliding with something immovable, a tree, a rock, or even another skier. And the truth is, helmets, while helpful, only protect at low speeds. When you're hurtling downhill at 25 or 30 miles an hour, there's only so much gear can do. One story that circulates in the skiing world involves 3 men who found themselves at the mercy of the mountain. What was supposed to be a fun outing turned to horror when they lost control, hurtling off balance and slamming into obstacles in their path. By sheer luck, they survived, though not without broken bones and lasting scars. It's a sobering reminder that even a sunny day on the slopes can end in blood and screams. Gravity doesn't forgive mistakes, and in the mountains, there are no second chances. In 2014, a young woman named Sarah Jones was working as a camera assistant on a film set in Georgia. At just 27, she was pursuing her dream career in the film industry, known for her bright spirit and dedication. The movie was Midnight Rider, a biopic about musician Greg Allman. That day, the director wanted to capture a dramatic scene, an actor lying in a hospital bed placed directly on active railroad tracks. The crew was nervous. Trains were known to pass through, and they were only given a limited amount of time to film. But pressure from above kept them moving forward. As they rushed to prepare, a train appeared in the distance. Panic broke out. Crew members scrambled to remove equipment and the heavy hospital bed, but time wasn't on their side. The train was moving too fast. In those frantic seconds, Sarah was struck. The hospital bed, hit with incredible force, ricocheted and knocked her straight into the train's path. She was killed instantly. The tragedy rocked the film industry, sparking outrage over the unsafe working conditions that led to her death. The director eventually pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter and served prison time, but that did little to ease the grief of her family and friends. Sarah's story is remembered not just as an accident, but as a stark warning. No shot, no scene, no film is ever worth a human life. There are thrill-seeking activities around the world that sound fun in theory, but in practice can be dangerous, sometimes fatally so. One of them is called zorbing. Imagine a massive inflatable ball, large enough for a person to climb inside. Once strapped in, you're pushed down a slope, tumbling and bouncing like laundry in a dryer. It looks ridiculous, but it can go wrong fast. In 2013, at a ski resort in Russia, 2 men, Denis Barage, 27, and his friend Vladimir, 33, decided to try it. They were rolled down a slope inside the transparent ball, laughing at first, until the ball veered off course. Instead of stopping, it picked up speed, bouncing violently as it hurtled toward the edge of the mountain. Onlookers screamed helplessly. Some tried to intervene, even throwing themselves in the ball's path to slow it down, but it was unstoppable. The men inside could do nothing but tumble helplessly as the ball careened down nearly a mile, slamming into rocks and rough terrain. When it finally stopped, rescuers rushed in. Denis had suffered catastrophic spinal injuries and died on the way to the hospital. His friend Vladimir survived, but was left with severe cuts and a concussion. What was meant to be a silly thrill ended in death. A reminder that not all fun attractions are safe, and sometimes risk is disguised as entertainment. Canada is known for its vast wilderness, where nature rules and humans are just visitors. But those visits can turn deadly when wild animals cross your path. Two men went for a jog one day along a wooded trail in Alberta. It was supposed to be a normal workout, but as they rounded a bend, something emerged from the trees, a black bear. At first, the men froze. The animal wasn't charging, but it wasn't leaving either. Instead, it followed, staying just far enough to stalk them. The men tried to stay calm, recalling advice they'd heard before. Make yourselves look bigger, stay together, don't run. They huddled close, speaking loudly, trying to intimidate the predator. But the bear didn't back down. It shadowed them step by step, waiting for weakness. What many don't realize is that most black bear encounters aren't playful curiosity, they're predatory. The bear was likely testing its potential prey, gauging if the men would be worth the energy of an attack. For long, tense minutes, it seemed inevitable that it would strike. But eventually, whether bored or deterred, the bear drifted back into the woods, leaving the men shaken but alive. Had they been alone instead of together, the outcome could have been very different. Out there, survival often comes down to a few decisions and a little luck. In May of 2013, a monstrous EF4 tornado tore through Moore, Oklahoma. Tornadoes are among the most destructive forces of nature, capable of leveling entire neighborhoods in seconds. And this one was no exception. The sky darkened, winds howled, and families scrambled for cover. In one home, a man huddled with his loved ones as the storm bore down. The walls shook, the sound of tearing wood and shattering glass filling the air as the tornado ripped apart everything outside. For minutes, all they could do was cling to each other and pray. When the storm finally passed, silence fell, but it was the silence of devastation. The man emerged, stepping outside into what had once been his street. The comfortable homes, the green lawns, the life he knew gone, flattened to rubble in less than a minute. Entire neighborhoods were erased. Families were left homeless, stunned by how quickly their world had been destroyed. It was a chilling reminder of nature's raw power. Humans build, plan, and prepare, but in the face of a tornado like that, survival comes down to chance. These 5 true stories prove something we'd all rather ignore. Life can change in an instant. A fun day on the slopes, a film set, a workout, even the safety of your own home. Danger doesn't wait for an invitation. Some of the people in these stories lived to tell their tale. Others weren't as lucky. If these stories left you unsettled, don't forget to subscribe for more true accounts told just like this. And tell me in the comments, which one shook you the most? Because at the end of the day, these aren't urban legends. They're not ghost stories. They're real.